Weather now with meteorologist Keith Carson. Keith, obviously power restoration efforts still underway. The good news is the weather's going to be working in the crew's favor.
Yeah, the best we can get, really. The only downside of this is just that it's some of the shortest daylight of the year. And I know they work at night too, but it's probably harder, probably slower. And getting some people being told Friday is when they're going to get power back Friday night, so it's going to be a bit. And the temperatures will start to factor in here. We'll talk about that in a second. Today, we did all right. We're in the mid-30s and upper 30s still, 20s into the mountains. Tonight will be on the chilly side, as will the next 2 days. It's interesting to have such a quiet pattern after Monday, and yet we still have flash flood warnings in effect. And of course, that has to do with those rivers and streams that have crested now and are slowly returning to normal. So the Androscoggin River at Auburn has crested at about 20 and that's 20 feet and change, and now it's going back down, but it's not until we get below flood stage, which is 13 feet, represented on this line, but right here, then they'll drop the flash flood warning. So we're looking at roughly, according to projections, tomorrow afternoon. Same situation, Kennebec River at North Sydney. This one seems to be falling a little bit more quickly, down to 20 feet. It needs to get down to 17 feet for that to be dropped, and that looks like that will happen earlier, probably tonight. So that's when those flash flood warnings will go away. Until then, they'll remain in effect. Sensibly, nothing really going on in our weather pattern here. The only change is that we start to get colder. Again, tonight, during the day tomorrow. So we start in the 20s and teens tomorrow. A lot of us stay in the 20s to around 30 tomorrow, 20s north of Greenville all day. And so that starts to be a factor when you think about the number of people still without power, which is a big number. And we kind of got by the last 2 days and it wasn't especially cold. But now we're going to get into a colder couple of days. Tomorrow night will be in the teens in a lot of spots. We'll see some single digits as well into the mountains. So that starts to be a bigger factor for if you don't have heat, obviously. During the day on Friday, only in the upper 20s to around 30. Both days, by the way, are pretty much completely sunny. The sun angle, though, is very weak this time of the year, so it doesn't have much of an impact. Worth noting, tomorrow is officially the solstice, the first day of winter. Meteorological winter starts December 1st, but on the calendar it'll say first day of winter. So things start to get warmer as we head into Saturday, upper 30s to around 40, and then Sunday 40 to 45, and then Christmas Day itself looks good, 40 to 45 as well. You can see that temperature trend up and away here during that time period. Next storm system not till next Wednesday. At this point, it looks like rain that changes over to snow, but it's obviously way out there. It does not right now look like the same type of rain and wind event, obviously, that we saw on Monday. That's all we really need to know. And I think snow would be more popular than rain for our next storm because that sits on top of the surface instead of seeping into the ground. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we do have it minimum. We're going to have a minimum of 10 days between those storms. So that's going to be helpful. Again, Christmas itself looks good for any travel plans that you may have, about 40 to 45 degrees. Pretty nice. We had a couple of Christmases where we had like a dusting to a ½ inch of snow on Christmas Day. Yeah. That's sweet when that happens. Not hitting it this year, but I think the quiet weather is more important right now.
Absolutely. Keith, thanks so much.